Shri Srimad, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Stotra Satta Shri Srimad Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Padbyam Bhakta Hridistabhyam Vandyabhyam Loka Vandatai Angam Yasya Samakramya Bhagavanapi Tatstanam Padbhyam Bhakta Hridistabhyam Vandyabhyam Loka Vandatai Angam Yasya Samakramya Bhagavanapi Tatstanam Padbhyam Bhakta Hridistabhyam Vandyabhyam Loka Vandatai Angam Yasya Samakramya Bhagavanapi Tatstanam. Vaishnavis, Padbyam. I'm sorry, I'll read the next verse. Yatu dhanyapi sasvargam avapa janani gatim Krishna bhukta stanakshira kim ugavo numataraha. Padbyam. By the two lotus feet. Bhakta hridistabhyam. Which are always thought of by pure devotees, in whose heart the Lord is therefore situated constantly. Vandabhyam, which are always to be praised. Lokavanditai, by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, who are praised by all the inhabitants of the three worlds. Angam, the body. Yasya, of whom. Putana. Samakramya, embracing. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Api, also. Tatstanam, that breast. Yatudhani api, although she was a witch, whose only business was to kill small children, and who had tried to kill Krishna also. Sa, she. Svargam, the transcendental abode. Avapa, achieved. Janani gatim, the position of a mother. Krishna bhuktastanakshira, therefore, because their breasts were sucked by Krishna, who drank the milk flowing from their bodies. Kimyu, what to speak of. Gavaha, the cows. Anumataraha, exactly like mothers, who allowed their nipples to be sucked by Krishna. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is always situated within the core of the heart of the pure devotee, and he is always offered prayers by such worshipable personalities as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Because Krishna embraced Putana's body with great pleasure and sucked her breast, although she was a great witch, she attained the position of a mother in the transcendental world and thus achieved the highest perfection. What then is to be said of the cows whose nipples Krishna sucked with great pleasure and who offered their milk very jubilantly with affection exactly like that of a mother? Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. These verses explain how devotional service, rendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whether directly or indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly, becomes successful. Putana was neither a devotee nor a non-devotee. She was actually a demoniac witch instructed by Kamsa to kill Krishna. Nonetheless, in the beginning, she assumed the form of a very beautiful woman and approached Krishna exactly like an affectionate mother, so that Mother Yashoda and Rohini did not doubt her sincerity. The Lord took all this into consideration, and thus she was automatically promoted to a position like that of Mother Yashoda. As explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, there are various roles one may play in such a position. Putana was immediately promoted to Vaikuntha Loka, which is also sometimes described as Svarga. The Svarga mentioned in this verse is not the material heavenly planet, but the transcendental world. In Vaikuntha Loka, Putana attained the position of a nurse, Dhatruchitam, as described by Uddhava. Putana was elevated to the position of a nurse and maidservant in Goloka Vrindavan to assist Mother Yashoda. Om Agyana Timarandasya Gananjana Shadakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutade Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I first ask for the blessings of the senior Vaishnavas, that I may speak properly on our Gaudiya Vaishnav Siddhanta as handed down to us by our Srila Prabhupada. So we are continuing with the killing of the demon Putana. And in today's verses, there's a very interesting point that in the beginning of the verses glorifies that Krishna is always situated within the core of the heart of the pure devotee. And Krishna is always offered prayers by such worshipable personalities as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. So indirectly, he's glorifying Putana with these two statements, because the lotus feet of the Lord are always within the heart of the devotee. The Lord is there within the heart of the pure devotee. And so the Lord, being in the heart of the pure devotee, his lotus feet, the lotus feet of the Lord touched Putana's body. So Srila Prabhupada points out that she was neither a devotee nor a non-devotee. She was actually a demoniac witch. But still, she was able to have the Lord's lotus feet touch her body. And Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they're worshipable personalities, but even though they're worshipable, they're always offering prayers to the lotus feet of the Lord. And so again, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they're always wanting to be next to the lotus feet of the Lord. Putana was actually touched by those lotus feet and obtained perfection. So this is a glorification of Putana. She wasn't a pure devotee, and she wasn't offering prayers like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, but she still was able to receive the lotus feet of the Lord. And so there's 3 different ways of obtaining perfection. There's 3 types of perfection. There's the Nitya Siddha, the Sadhana Siddha, and the Kripa Siddha. So the Nitya Siddhas, they never forget Krishna for one moment. They're eternally Nitya Siddha, perfect. Mother Yashoda, the inhabitants of Goloka Vrindavan, like the gopis, the cowherd boys, the cows, they're all Nitya Siddhas, eternally perfect, as well as the associates of Lord Chaitanya. So Nitya Siddha means one who never forgets Krishna, is always perfect, never contaminated by the material world. And then there's the Sadhana Siddha. One obtains perfection by sadhana, or practice, engaging in devotional service, chanting, coming to the temple, doing sadhana, practicing devotional service. And then the 3rd type of perfection is Kripa Siddha. Kripa means mercy. And so Putana here, she's definitely getting the mercy of Krishna because she has not performed any type of sadhana. And she was definitely not a Nitya Siddha, and she had the intention of killing Krishna. So she was under the influence of Kamsa, the material energy. But just by Kripa, by mercy of the Lord, she attained perfection. So as soon as one obtains perfection, they're all considered perfect. And it was interesting because in researching these 3 perfections, Srila Prabhupada in his morning walks and in his lectures, he seems to stress sadhana siddha for the conditioned souls. Now one may point out that, well, one has to have mercy to even start performing sadhana, which is true. But when you're specifically talking about Kripa Siddha, it's one who hasn't performed any type of sadhana. But Srila Prabhupada, he was stressing that one should practice sadhana, one should do devotional service, not expecting that, somehow, someday, Krishna, the devotees will just give me so much mercy that I'm perfect in one day. No, it's lifetime of performing sadhana, devotional service. Srila Prabhupada made the point that kripa is it's very rare. It's not given out so easily. But by practicing sadhana, by practicing devotional service, one gets the mercy of the Vaishnavas, one gets the mercy of the Guru, and then one's sadhana intensifies, and you're able to go deeper by their mercy. So in this way, Putana, she was a Kripa Siddha. She attained perfection, becoming the assistant of Mother Yashoda. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada points out that, as explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, there are various roles one may play in such a position. As he said, she was automatically promoted to a position like that of Mother Yashoda. So what does it mean by various roles one may play in such a position? In his commentary, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he points out in the previous text, in text 36, and the last line was Raktas tan mataro yata, that Raktaha, those who have an affinity, they're the ones who are elevated to, and having affection, they're the ones who are elevated to Goloka Vrindavan. So how is it that Putana, who's a witch who came to kill Krishna, could attain the same position as Mother Yashoda? And so he points out that she was not a direct nurse. And as Srila Prabhupada says at the end here, that she was an assistant to Mother Yashoda. So she became an assistant, not a direct nurse to Krishna, but an assistant to Mother Yashoda. But in this verse today, at the very end, there's a glorification of the cows and the mothers in the Brahma Vimohan Leela, where it's stated here in today's verse that what then is to be said of the cows whose nipples Krishna sucked with great pleasure, and who offered their milk very jubilantly with affection exactly like that of a mother. So in the Brahma Vimohan Lila, or the bewilderment of Lord Brahma saw that Aghasura was killed by Krishna. And it's described there when Aghasura is killed by Krishna, the soul comes out and enters into Krishna's body. But even an important point here is that whenever Krishna kills a demon, they obtain not just Sayujya Mukti, but Srila Prabhupada points out that Aghasura gets Sarupya Mukti. He obtains the same bodily form as the Lord in Vaikuntha. And the same with Shishupal. And every demon that Krishna kills, they are immediately perfected. And in the Sri Laghu Bhagavatamrita, which has been published by the BBT, Srila Rupa Goswami specifically points out this point, that any demons that even Vishnu kills, such as Kalanemi, he wasn't liberated. He came as Kamsa. So Krishna, whatever demon he kills, whoever comes in contact with Krishna in such a way where their mind is completely fixed on him, they obtain the highest perfection of being situated in Goloka Vrindavan or Vaikuntha. So in the pastime, Krishna kills Aghasura, he obtains liberation, and Lord Brahma is very bewildered. Who is this little boy who's playing like this? He sees that Krishna, after killing Aghasura, he takes the calves and the cowherd boys, and they go by the bank of the Yamuna and they take prasadam. Krishna was situated in the center, and he was like a whorl of a lotus flower. All the cowherd boys were situated around him. They all started pulling out their lunch boxes and lunch bags and started distributing prasadam to each other. And Lord Brahma and the demigods, they were even seeing how Krishna, who usually only eats through yagya, the cowherd boys, they would take a bite of something and then say, "Hey Krishna, try this. My mother made it. It's so delicious. You try it." And Krishna would take what they had eaten and eat it. And so they were all sitting around and joyfully playing, and Lord Brahma could not understand, who is this boy? Is he the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Who is he? He couldn't understand the position of Krishna. So while Krishna was sitting there, in his hand he was holding yogurt mixed with rice with fruit in between his fingers. And the calves had drifted off into the deep forest. And the cowherd boys, they were becoming very fearful because it's their duty to take care of the calves. But Krishna said, "My dear friends, please stay here. I'm going to go find the calves. You please don't disturb your enjoyment. I will go find them." So Krishna, he wandered into the deep forest and he couldn't find the calves, and he understood, oh, Lord Brahma, he's playing a trick on me. So when he went back, the cowherd boys, they were also gone. And he understood that Lord Brahma had taken the calves and the cowherd boys to show his power, but also wanting to see the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's playing like a little boy. So Krishna, not even hesitating, knowing everything, he expanded himself into all the calves, all the missing calves and all the missing cowherd boys. And so when it was time for him to go home, they all of his expanded forms, they went back to the village, and the mothers and the cows were in so much ecstasy because they already had natural affection for Krishna. Vrindavan means everybody who lives there, they're naturally having affection for Krishna. But now they have the opportunity to serve Krishna directly, having Krishna as their sons, the cows having Krishna as their calves. And so in today's verse, it's glorifying them that, what to speak of Putana's perfection, they had a perfection even greater than Putana. They directly got to serve Krishna by allowing Krishna to drink milk from their breasts. and their nipples. And so Krishna, he completely bewildered Lord Brahma. For 1 year he performed this pastime. When Lord Brahma came back, he couldn't understand what was going on. How is it that all these calves and cowherd boys that I've taken away, they're here? And so he was able to have a darshan of Krishna where all the boys and calves, they turned into their Vishnu forms. And he saw all the demigods and demigoddesses worshipping Krishna in the midst of all these Vishnu Murtis. What to speak of that? He saw samskar personified. He saw the 3 gunas personified. He saw time personified, all worshipping Krishna. And so he was very humbled in this. And sometimes we can think, oh, I would recognize Krishna if I saw this little bluish boy. I've been reading the scriptures. I've been chanting his names. I come to the temple. But naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha. That Krishna reveals himself when he wants to reveal himself. So Lord Brahma, just by seeing Krishna, he couldn't understand. Even he was seeing Krishna's pastimes, he couldn't understand Krishna. And it's interesting because in the Ras Leela, when the gopis are with Krishna, Krishna makes a very, very significant point. He talks about how it isn't just by physical proximity that one is able to understand Krishna. And we see this in Krishna Leela. Duryodhan, Dhritarashtra, there's so many different personalities that at different points didn't understand who Krishna was. Even though they were right next to Krishna, even some of them grew up with Krishna. They couldn't understand the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead playing as a human. And so Krishna points out to the gopis that actually it's not by physical proximity that one obtains my real mercy or even understands who I am, but it's by hearing about me, chanting about me, seeing my deity form, and meditating on me. He makes this point to the gopis. And so Krishna reveals himself to the devotees when he's even ready. We see with Shripad Madhavendra Puri. Shripad Madhavendra Puri, he was sitting there. Krishna himself came and gave him milk, but yet he was not able to understand that this is Krishna right before him. So in a similar way, we're saying the Damodarashtakam every day, and Kartik time is very, very nice to get into a Vrindavan mood, try to understand very deeply what is Vrindavan, who are the inhabitants of Vrindavan, what are their activities. Srila Prabhupada, in his purport to Mother Yashoda, binds Lord Krishna, talks about how one who wants to focus on parental rasa, Vatsalya ras, they should meditate on the form of Mother Yashoda in the Leela of Damodar. And so, even the residents of Vrindavan, under Yogamaya, they're not seeing that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Every day we're now reciting that we don't even want to know the feature of Paramatma. We don't want to know about Vaikuntha. We only want to focus on that baby who's stealing yogurt from Mother Yashoda. And this Supreme Personality of Godhead, who fear personified is afraid of, Krishna, he's running away in fear of Mother Yashoda. Out of all the philosophies, all the theologies, out of all the Vedas and everything, what is so sweeter than Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, coming as a child and just performing activities as a human being? It's very, very sweet. So the residents of Vrindavan, they're not focusing on his aspect of Supreme Personality of Godhead. They're just focusing on his childlike pastimes. And so we, in this month of Kartik, everything we're doing is intensified by 1,000 times. And I was just reading in Srila Jiva Goswami's Bhakti Sandarbha that in Kali Yuga, when one takes, he quotes from Skanda Purana, that when one takes just a mouthful of Vishnu Prasad, it's equal to obtaining the benefits of fasting for 6 months. So just think about how in the month of Kartik, if just a mouthful of prasadam in regular Kali Yuga is equal to 6 months of fasting, and everything in Kartik, everything in the month of Damodar is times 1,000 times. Just see, just by taking prasadam, what benefit you're getting. What to speak of chanting the holy names, offering ghee lamps to the Lord. So it's a very amazing time to go deep into devotional service. And so when we're reading Damodarashtakam, chanting it, when we're doing service at this time of the year, it's a time for us to go very, very deep, not just let things go slightly. And there's a very powerful pastime that I recently heard. Kalidas, he was a great poet who Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sometime would read his poetry. But he was one of the pundits in a courtyard of a king. And this king, he was always surrounding himself with pundits, with greatly learned people. And he was very proud of it. So there was this ascetic madman who came to his court one day. And there was a table there. And he came in with a skull. And he set down the skull on the table. And he said to the king, "O king, I know that you're proud, that you're always surrounding yourself with greatly learned people. So I want your learned pundits, I want them to come and tell me that the person whose skull this is, I want them to tell me if this person was an intelligent person or a foolish person." So the king said, "Yes, my pundits are the greatest in the land. They will tell you if this person was an intelligent person or a foolish person." And so the pundits, they came and they were looking at the skull and doing so many things. So some hours passed and the pundits, they went to the king and they said, "There's no way to tell if this person was an intelligent person or a foolish person. How can we tell with just a skull? It's impossible." So Kalidas, he wasn't there. He had just walked in the courtroom. And the king said, wait, Kalidas is here? He's very intelligent. He will know what to do." So Kalidas, he picked up the skull, he looked at it, and he took a little rope and he put it into one of the ear holes of the skull and he pushed it through till it came out the other end. And he declared, "This person is very foolish." And the ascetic madman said, yes, you're right. You're very intelligent." And the king said, wait, I don't understand. How is it that you just put a rope through and you understood that he was a foolish person? How can you tell that? And so Kalidasi said that an intelligent person, when something goes in the ear, it goes into the heart. But an unintelligent person, it'll go in one ear and out the other. So the skull is, this person, he was very unintelligent because it just went in one ear and out the other. So now is the time where Srila Prabhupada is giving us so much mercy. The Vaishnavas are giving us so much mercy in the month of Kartik that rather than let something go in one ear and out the other, Damodarashtakam prayers, we should take it very deep into the heart. Everything we're doing this month, intensify it. And that way we can try to perfect our sadhana and go deeper into our devotional service. I'll stop here if there's any questions or comments. Satchitanaya Prabhu.
Bhakti, can that also be multiplied?
I haven't seen it in scripture, and I'm not sure what the acharyas or the sadhus say, so I can't give a direct, definitive yes or no to that. Oh, he was asking if if what we're doing in the month of Kartik, chanting in devotional service, if it's multiplied, then are also the offenses multiplied, if we're performing the offenses to Vaishnavas. Archita Prabhu.
He said that. He warned the devotees that when you come to Vrindavan, whatever service you do is multiplied and also your offenses. Don't come to Vrindavan.
So Archita Prabhu pointed out that Srila Prabhupada stated in Vrindavan that if you go to Vrindavan, then your offenses are multiplied. So don't go to Vrindavan and commit offenses. Yes, Brigupati Prabhu. Skull. It's just supposed to be a example story, not really really like dissect and think about it. It's just meant to make a point that we should hear more with the heart than one ear and out the other. Like when Madhava Prabhu was here and he made that example, when he was singing for New Year's Eve, he made that point that we shouldn't just let the holy name go in one ear and out the other, but it should go very deep into our heart, try to take it inward. So it's just an example story like that. Yes, Mataji. For those on the internet, Mataji Jennifer is asking if the different demons that we're going to be reading about in 10th canto, if they represent impurities of the heart. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his Chaitanya Shikshamrita, he has a whole list of each anartas that the demons represent. And so Putana actually represents the false guru, somebody coming in a disguise, and just as in the purport, Srila Prabhupada was pointing out that she dressed up like a gopi, looked very beautifully so that Yashoda and Rohini would let her through. And so Bhaktivinoda Thakur states that she represents the false guru, or somebody who's trying to take you off of the path of devotional service. And so as we go on, different demons are, they have anartas that are linked with them. And so when we hear those pastimes, then those anartas are cleansed from the heart. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.